So yeah, man. It looks like the gremlins have gotten to us.
Yeah.
It was fun this morning, but we're doing what we can. Are you seeing my screen right now?
I can. Yeah, you're playing Pikachu.
No, I'm playing a game called Piku Niku. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
This was the first game my son ever beat, and he was it took him 2 years. He was so proud of himself.
Oh, that's
he
awesome.
beat this game. Yes.
I've never heard of this game.
Oh yeah, it is an awesome game. My son still talks about it. We have it's hard to find because you can't get plushies and stuff, but we made plushies for him. Yeah, you're this little weird red dude, and you just got eyes. He draws him wherever he is. He went from Piku Niku to Mario, but yes, Piku Niku was his first love. That's awesome. I'm playing this because while we were working on the damn technical gremlins, shout out to you there, StreamYard. I was like, you know what? We're talking about cloud gaming today. We're talking about all the various avenues and aspects that cloud gaming works. How about, and as you can see Piku Niku's all about them secrets. You see, they got secrets all over the place. So how about while we're talking about these technical aspects of cloud gaming and streaming and whatnot, maybe I should stream a game real quick and play it.
Oh, really?
And here we are.
I think that, with the theme of the show being the state of cloud gaming, I think that you should go across various services and stream some games. Why not?
Hey now. Yeah, I actually have. So I did let my GeForce Now. I let my GeForce Now sub lapse.
I got mine. I still got mine. So
you do? Then you can play. There you go. Yeah, yes.
We can I still. When we're ready.
We can do Luna. We can do. Yeah, we have a few options. So there you go. So yeah, man. Okay, so I know this week, and we're gonna get into it. I know this week you have been talking about you've been getting into cloud streaming and what all that's about and everything else, right? I guess my question to you is, before this week, what was your cadence with it? Like, did you do it often or?
Absolutely, I really got enamored with the idea back when Stadia launched. I remember. I didn't beta test it, but I was a founder. Like, I got the
founders pack.
I got the founders pack with the controller and everything. And let me tell you, I loved it. I purchased 10 games through Stadia. I thought that Stadia, I really was sold on the vision that they had. I really think that I wish that they were still around.
Your problem is you didn't see the canary in the coal mine. Phil Harrison, baby. The Grim Reaper of gaming, bro. Grim Reaper of gaming. What are you talking about?
If he's leading a project, you're done. Okay, so but in all seriousness, I thought Stadia, like we know now, revisionist history. Looking back, we know that that from a technical standpoint, it had the goods, but the business model was not good. And then we're going to get into it a little bit later because you know the ins and outs of the actual back end. But it looks like they made poor decisions in the beginning, which cost them ultimately at the end. But Stadia was my first foray into cloud gaming per se. Okay. But before that, I did try not at a buddy's house on live one time.
Oh, bro, I used to be a member of OnLive. I've been part of that life for a long time. I still have the binaries for the OnLive installer.
but here's the thing. It was terrible.
It was dog water. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Terrible.
Yes, it was.
Now it was cool the way that they had their layout, from what I could remember correctly. It looked like you were going through channels. It looked like you were going, like if you're like watching TV, and then you would pick the game that you wanted, and then it would go into it, or whatever the case may be. But it's just, man, like how far we've come to there. It's incredible. So
let me tell you, my first foray, besides OnLive, because yes, I was part of OnLive as well. My first foray into proper online game, like cloud gaming, has to be the NVIDIA Shield. If anybody knows, if you've been an owner of the NVIDIA Shield for any given time, you know that at some point, right, the Shield, one of its biggest selling points when you first got it was they gave you free online cloud streaming for like 5 years.
From your PC or from a server?
No. From NVIDIA Shield. Like, so the Shield TV itself, right, the set-top box, right, was connecting to their online servers, which eventually turned into a service that you all know and love called GeForce Now.
Oh, okay.
It was in beta for like 5 years, and they let all of us who used to own Shield devices beta test it. So we were using it for free for like 5 years.
That's
right?
amazing.
And yes, and you could both connect to your own PC, you know, the remote streaming with which would eventually become Moonlight, right? You could do that, or you could connect to their servers, and it was free 99 everywhere. It was absolutely amazing.
So I'm sure that people like you that were invested into that were very disappointed when they started monetizing this stuff. You know, kind of
I mean, it's like, did you ever see this? And I know this is more a tech show rather than movies. Did you ever see the subscription service called Movie Pass?
Yes, of course. It was like $20, right?
No, it was $9.99. It was $10 for unlimited movies. When you are in a Movie Pass situation, you look at yourself and you go, man, at one point the party will be over. And when it is over, you don't get mad because you knew you were eating for free.
Yeah, I've heard, you know, that is true, because that's like one of those things that I've heard. Cog, which we had last week on our show, by the way, go back and listen.
Shout out to the great Cognito. Yes, sir.
What a great show that was. I will tell you that I've heard him say this on Iron Lords and on Matty, and when he has Defining Duke all the time. Just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Just Game Pass. Just enjoy it. Don't worry about how much it's costing Microsoft and all that stuff. And I agree 100%. Take advantage of it.
So yeah, when they eventually monetized, I wasn't disappointed because I knew eventually they would have to monetize. What actually disappointed me was the business, right? So like the party opens, you as a person who were a beta tester for many years got a free year subscription at the time, which was cool. They gave us a free year. But then Monday, we'll just say Monday, the floodgates open. We're all enjoying ourselves. This is awesome. Tuesday, all our games are gone. Why? Wow. Because Ubisoft and 2K and EA and everybody just went, y'all just let people play our games in the cloud? We didn't tell you could do that. Bye. And they turned all their servers off and nobody could play their own games anymore.
Oh, that would have got me in the CEG feels. I would have been CEGing all day. Like for sure. I would have been so upset. K. I would have been like, what are you doing?
And eventually some of them came back, but not all of them came back. Some of them were just like, nope, in the form of 2K, for example. Nope, you guys ain't putting our games online. We're just not letting that happen. So it was holy and beautiful for the time, but it only lasted for a short amount of time, and then it was back to business as usual.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's very unfortunate when stuff like that happens because like I understand business is going to be business, but man, licensing and stuff like that, it really does mess everything up. K, like even games that have licensed songs and stuff, that's why most of the time it gets delisted. And you're like, come on, man. I just want this thing to have like a lifelong license, but that's not realistic.
It's a business, man. Business realities on the ground get you every time. It's crazy. Yeah. But you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I see you in the chat. Welcome to the Gamers Playground, the show where myself and the great John Wolf, we just sit here, we talk games, we talk handhelds, we talk all manner of technology that helps us get to the thing that we love most, which is gaming. I'm your host this week, Mr. K. Asante, TK Asante, and all the places that we communicate. And I see you in the chat, gentlemen, ladies. This is awesome, man. I see Web Dave. I think did I see Ainsley Bowden in there for a moment? Shout out to Ains. I love Ains, man. Ains is a good human. I got a chance to meet him in LA, and man, that man is great. More people need to be checking out Seasoned Gaming.
I agree,
because it is there's a reason why you get upset at what you get upset at with the media, and if you need to inoculate yourself from such ridiculousness, there is Seasoned Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. So shout out to Ains.
Shout out to him and Web Dave. And Web Dave, I heard you say something yesterday on the show. I'm gonna call you out, brother. I absolutely love this man. I don't know where he got that I don't like him. What is yeah, Web Dave said I don't think he likes me very much. What are you talking about?
Oh no.
Dave? I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, come on.
I mean, how could he not like you, Dave? Dave, you have his Latino Heat moniker. Like he's the only one that uses it besides you.
Exactly. So, Web Dave, don't ever say that again, brother. And don't you think I'm not lurking? Because I'm lurking and I'm listening.
Oh yeah.
And I was moderating that chat yesterday. Okay, so.
Okay. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, today's gonna be a different kind of show. Usually we bring topics, we discuss. This week, I don't know if you saw, I put a video out. One of the first things I'm trying, seeing how people enjoy it. I was able to get my hands on what do you call it? A Fire Stick, right? An Amazon Fire Stick TV or whatever.
We gotta talk
So
about that.
I've been, and as we just discussed, I have been part of the cloud initiatives for some time. I enjoy playing my games anywhere I can get them.
Yep.
So I've enjoyed playing on the cloud for a while. So when the Fire Stick became a thing, and it was like $40, I'm like, wow, that is more than a deal. So I'll pick it up just to see. My kids are always about that life. They want to play on Xbox, even though let's have some dad talk real quick, okay? Every time I let my kids play my Switch, and now my controller's always busted. You know what I'm saying? The batteries ain't charging right. The lights don't shine anymore. Every time I hand it to them, it's like I'm handing them the kiss of death. It's over. It'll never be the same again. So they go, we want to play Xbox. I'm like, I ain't giving you my Xbox. Forget about that thing.
let me tell you how to solve that, okay? What you do is you buy them the Mad Catz controller, okay? And they use the Mad Catz controller and leave the OEMs alone. Don't touch the OEMs.
It's not about even the OEMs versus the third party. They will break that quicker because it's less quality. And then I gotta buy them another one.
Hey, listen,
so my dream here is to just hand them controllers. I can deal with controllers. I have many controllers. We've had that show, right? Y'all ain't touching my Xbox. I don't want to find cheese in my Xbox CD slot. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the Fire, bro, I'm trying to find cheese in the little slot. You know what I mean? So hopefully the Fire Stick is just good enough, and then they can play their games. But yeah, that brought us to a lot of fun, interesting conversations, man.
Let me give you some more advice. Okay, so
please, yes.
My little one is not much of a gamer besides her iPad and
my kids have iPads too, yeah.
And a Switch Lite that I got her. Get them their own Switch Lites, and you won't have to worry about that again. Your stuff will not have videos, okay?
Bro, see, the problem with getting them a Switch Lite is then I have to replace the $200-$300 item when they break it every week. Like, no. So what I have done, because in our house, we are not about them radio hits. We're about them deep cuts, if you know what I'm talking about. So I have handed both my children, and I'm slowly but surely getting there. I have handed both my children the two greatest handhelds known to man that are still alive now because daddy knows how to do his thing. The Vita and the 3DS.
Oh, you're a brave man to give them that Vita. You're very brave, let me tell you.
They both have life beyond their age because you got to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But they both last far longer. You can do a lot with these things now. So what I do is I create the nice jail cell for them. Sit in that chair. The minute you get up out of that chair, these things have to get out of your hands. So they sit in that chair and they use both the Vita. One day is my daughter will use the Vita, and then some days my son, because my son is all about that Mario life. So, Super Mario's on this thing. He'll be there. You won't hear a peep from him for like 3 hours. That's how I'm doing this right now.
You got your own routine for safety and everything. I like it. Now, do you put pillows around the chair just in case?
We got the Valari pillow situation, man. I got two Valaris, one Iron Lord's Valari, and I put that on my daughter, and I have the regular Valari. I put that on my son. I'm like, here's where the consoles sit.
Okay, yeah,
this is what we're doing in this house.
I still ain't giving my little one the Vita. No way, that thing is too sensitive.
Oh, and this is the OLED Vita too. This is the OG, son.
yeah. Sorry.
So yes,
your own Vita.
So this is the deal, right? Because yes, I got these. Eventually, I can foresee getting them their own Switches. I actually did buy them their own like Switch Lites, but I haven't been willing to give that to them since Joy-Cons can't last in their hands for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna give them a Switch, you know what I mean?
I got you.
That's my problem.
I see what you mean.
So before let's get into this thing properly, and I know folks in the chat, I know that you guys are probably opponents of the online cloud life, right?
Oh, but we should.
I understand that.
No one should be.
Well, but that's my question, right? That's my point, because I feel like there is a place that we need to get to where everyone will then be okay with it, or it'll be good, right? If you watch the video, I made a video today. If you watch the video, it basically said that it's good enough, right? For the vast majority of people, for toe dippers, it's good enough. The minute you are getting into the hardcore game and the minute you have some requirements, then this thing kind of falls apart on you. But and I'm not even talking about what we're showing here, because this is backed by gigabit Ethernet cable, right? I'm talking about the cloud stuff that's literally like Wi-Fi backed. I got Wi-Fi 6E, but still, it's way not as good as this, right? So in that world, I guess my question is, and I'm gonna throw it to the chat, and we're gonna get some responses while we have the show. What would have to happen for you guys not to replace your existing gaming habits, because no one's replacing your existing gaming habits, right? But at some point you stop buying Blu-rays and started watching Netflix as well. What does cloud gaming have to traverse in your mind before it becomes a viable option for you? And that's for everyone watching right now. I see you. I'm monitoring the YouTube chat. You know, reply back, holla at me, let me know how you feel about it, because I feel like I spent a week, literally a week, just all manner of cloud gaming. I'm playing on the Fire Stick. I have the xCloud right here. Been just doing nothing but cloud gaming, and I got thoughts, man. Like it's not there yet, but I really feel like we're so close, right? So what has your experience been, sir?
Yeah, like I mentioned, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Stadia service, when I had it for the short time that it was around, it wasn't my primary source of gaming, but I really felt like if it was another ecosystem that I was using, just like an Xbox or PlayStation or whatever the case may be, where I started growing, that I got up to a 10 game library. I purchased full purchase games, because remember that Stadia was also giving away freebies. No. I bought retail full versions because the service was working so well, and I really liked the idea. Since I had like a long commute to work that was prior to the pandemic, I was like, man, how cool would it be to finally live the dream of being able to play like Destiny 2 or Doom Eternal on the train on the way to work, right? So I dove into it, and I started seeing, you know what, it's not perfect, but when it's working, I can see the dream, and I can see the vision where it's going, right? Then we know Xbox did their thing by releasing and announcing xCloud, and it's been in beta for a very long time now. So I dabbed in those waters as well. When, as you know, me, you, and WebDave, we had a show when the Logitech xCloud came out. I tested that out. Then I started messing around with Moonlight streaming, and then GeForce Now and all that good stuff. So where I'm at right now with cloud gaming, K, is that I feel like if we are so close to realizing just the ease, how easy it can be just to jump into a game from a device, kind of like the same way. Think of it the same way. You want to watch something. Before, you used to have to browse through your Blu-ray or through your DVD collection and pick out a movie from the wall. And now you just go to Netflix and you have this unlimited amounts of movies. You can go to Paramount Plus, et cetera, where even now, like for example, we live in a world where whenever I watch wrestling events or UFC events, it's through streaming. It's not like back in the day, it was like through pay-per-view through my cable provider. You know, so even that's evolved to the point where I think that the natural progression for games is that way. But the problem with me saying that, and I understand, and I understand also why you put out this question out there to the chat. There's a stigma to this, and the stigma is that as soon as you hear, oh, it's cloud gaming, automatically everybody goes, ugh, because of the, oh no, you know, they say,
bruh,
right, because of the latency. Latency is a real thing, and it's an issue. And here's another thing. One of the biggest things, my experience will be completely different than yours. That's the thing. It's not consistent enough. And that right there is the biggest hurdles that I see that cloud gaming needs to jump before we can all say this is a viable solution where people are happy.
No, I don't disagree with you, sir. I don't. Absolutely not. I don't disagree with you. And you put the nail on the head right as to why I put that call out, because like y'all know me on this show. I'm the man that advocates for game wherever you can. Don't put your nose in the air, right? Because at the end of the day, you will find a time and a place where your gaming experience will be better than it ever has been if you give it that opportunity to continue to shine, right?
Agreed.
You got to give it that chance, right? That's why I call Mr. John Wolf to task whenever possible. I say, hey man, they're giving you a free game. Shut up and download that launcher. You know what I'm saying?
It is true.
Like, that's what it is. We are not quite there yet in cloud streaming, but I really see a world where it becomes a viable option, not a replacement, but a viable option to what is exactly going on right now. So it would be useful for the community to come out to let us know what it is on from their perspective that the divide needs to be traversed in order for them to consider it as a more viable option. And on that note, I'll as we go along, I'll highlight some of the comments here. Yeah. Zach Riley, salute to you, Zach Riley. Thank you for being here. He says, if they can get cloud streaming in 4K, sure, but why not? Also, better latency for sure. Neon White on xCloud was not fun. So I will tell you, as far as the 4K, I mean, NVIDIA, GeForce Now, and Stadia had the right business. Now both of them employ different levels of 4K, if you know what I'm saying. It's not the real deal, but so is Netflix, and you still don't care, right? It's good enough.
Right.
Now, to your point, it is very true that specifically xCloud does not have the visuals that you're looking for today. Oof. And remind me, I have a pro tip, because we like to do tips here. I have a pro tip on how you can kind of force the issue on making your streaming situation a little bit better from the cloud. It's only on certain devices, but there's a way of forcing it to be a bit better. But yes, they are not quite ready yet. So for you, Zach, it's 4K and it's better latency. I think they have a game plan for both. I think they have a game plan for both.
And before you continue with that, I just want to shout out MJ Dark. I'm going to start playing as you in World War Z. As you can see, this is MJ right here. All right, in New York, representing and everything. Go ahead. I'm streaming this through GeForce Now. By the way, go ahead.
You are slanderous one, man. You gonna have him come for you right now.
Right here. Look at MJ Dark right here. I'm representing. Go ahead.
Damn, like come on, bro. Don't do my boy like that. That's terrible. Anyway. Michael Santiago is also in the spot. He says, I play Game Pass and stream my Xbox using my Steam Deck OLED, and it runs well. I play in the bedroom most of the time, which is not on the same floor as the router. Little to no lag for me. That is always a bit better. So when you're streaming to your hardware locally, you always get a better experience because you're not having to deal with however far away that cloud data center is, right? No matter how good they claim the connection is, it's never as good as your router, which only has to service your Xbox literally downstairs, or in my case, next door, right? So yeah, I feel like that is a very viable option. Believe it or not, like I have used various third-party services to connect to my PS5 and play when I'm on somebody else's Wi-Fi, like when I'm elsewhere, and it's worked pretty well. Yeah. Right? Even in that case, it's worked pretty well, so there are options there. It's just the cloud streaming specifically that I have a problem with so far. That seems to be close, but not quite there yet. Right? Yeah. Not quite.
And you're referring to xCloud, right?
Yeah, I'm referring to xCloud. Like GeForce Now is not the same comparison. Right? Nobody in their right mind, and we're PC gamers on here, nobody in their right mind will compare a Series S or a Series X to a 4090 PC. Right. Comparing GeForce Now to xCloud is comparing a Series S or a Series X to a PC. That's what you're doing there. Because they're literally that in the cloud. Right? So I think that they can traverse that divide, right? xCloud specifically. Maybe not in their current hardware profile, maybe not currently with Xboxes in the cloud as they have now, but they might not need to get whiz bang hardware before they traverse that divide, as long as they market it to entry level casual players, right?
I
do
don't
you disagree with me?
No, I don't disagree with you. And while
No.
I'm mowing down these zombies, I could tell you
Uh-huh.
playing and trying to podcast is kind of hard.
It's
What?
hard. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So if you see me missing or dying and stuff, it's not that I
Uh-huh.
suck.
So the
Okay,
sun is in your eyes. I get it. The sun is in your
exactly.
eyes.
Okay,
I
but
get it. I get it. Uh-huh.
here's the thing, Kane, and me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I have had feedback on xCloud for a long time because I've been using it really since the beginning. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and there's two games that I always like to use as my as kind of like my benchmarks to see how much the service has progressed.
Okay.
When xCloud first launched, look at this guy. When xCloud first launched, right? Hey, get off me, dude! Come on, give me some help over here. I used Doom 2016 because, as you
Mm-hmm.
know, you know the boomer shooter and just the quickness of the game. It really is good for latency test. Okay,
Sure.
so I
Okay.
always, whenever I'm going to test out like a service or whatever the case may be, I always go to that game. The second game, okay, that I use kind of as a barometer for resolution is
Mm-hmm.
Batman Arkham Knight. Now,
Okay.
I understand the limitations of Batman Arkham Knight on the Xbox One console
Mm-hmm.
was that it was running at 900p, I believe,
Yes, it
right?
was. Yes, it was.
So
Yep.
it's already fuzzy to begin with, but I've always, and this is something that I even told you the other day, if you really take a look at it, when you're looking at playing on a smaller screen, because the real estate is smaller than like
Mm-hmm.
than what they're trying to do with the 4K Amazon stick, it kind of hides those imperfect, like that imperfectness. You know what I'm saying? Like those,
Mm-hmm.
like that fuzziness that I'm talking about. And I have seen that throughout the years that they have done updates to xCloud. It's gotten a lot
Mm.
better, because I'm telling you guys, it was dog water before. Like
Yeah.
even
Oh,
and
it's
even
gotten
on
so much
smaller
better. Yep.
and even on smaller screens, it was bad.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to ask you the other day, Kay, let me ask you a question. Did Xbox ever update to be able to run at 1080p? And you showed
They
me
did. Yes.
that they did,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even think
Mm-hmm.
so, because I was playing Batman on the I was streaming Batman to do another test for leading up to
Mm-hmm.
the show, and I was like, man, this thing looks really bad. Like, are they still not able to at least get up there to 1080p or 900p to match it?
So to my understanding, it depends on the game you're playing, because some of the systems like started off running on Series S's, right? And they're still there. They haven't been replaced. X's have been added. Now, this might be old information, but at some point that was the case. So it was more on a game to game basis, but there are ways of mitigating that. And I was going to use that as my pro tip later, but of course, our audience is too smart for that. They are prolific.
yeah.
Let me first catch up with some of these comments here, and then I'll get to my pro tip real quick so people can know what I'm talking about. The Xbox expansion pass. Luke Lore's in the house. Shout out to
What's
you,
up,
good
Luke?
sir.
Thanks for being
He
here.
says, I stream on my phone, which is a Pixel 8 Pro, and it works well with a backbone. It's not enough for competitive multiplayer, but lots of games work extremely well. Absolutely. This is my point, right? You're not going to get every game to run like mad, like craziness on there. But if you limit yourself to a certain kind of game, you'll be fine. Like, and those of us that are here on this show and watch this show, you know, when you're a handheld gamer, you're not playing Cyberpunk exclusively on this thing, because no matter how great your handheld is, you're gonna have 20 minutes of battery. Cyberpunk sucks all the battery out of you. Like that's what it does, because it's really performant. So you end up playing the cool indie Metroidvania, right? Different types of games for different use cases.
Yep.
Same thing with xCloud, right? You don't play your Twitch shooters on xCloud. You play things that let you breathe. One of the greatest games I consider game of the year is Balatro. I would love to play Balatro on streaming, because you never have to worry about it. It's just right there, right? It's a different kind of game. It gives you what you want without it having to adhere to or be beholden to those latency tropes that are currently dogging it, right? So okay, well, I'll keep going. Let's see here.
Yeah,
The great Ty
Talks.
Oh yeah, no worries. Ty Talks is here. And he has two things. I'll bring the second one up first. He says it was xCloud that got me back into playing Hellblade 2. I wasn't feeling it initially, but on PC. But I started streaming it in bed at night and worked my way back to the PC, back to playing it on PC. That's cool.
Nice. Yeah.
That's cool. See, so a game like that as well is not necessarily one of those games that requires those Twitch fast reflexes and response times. So you can play that in bed. You can play that. You know, I love playing games that I know couldn't run well on something like this, and I'm playing it on here for hours with no issues, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's on streaming. So it's great. Brad Worth Fight.
Hey, what's up, Brad?
Is here. What's going on, brother? He says, I regularly play Xbox Remote Play, Xbox Cloud Gaming, Luna, and PS Remote Play over Walmart Wi-Fi, and it works very well. I just found services go up and down. When it works, to me, it works. Yeah, absolutely. The consistency is a factor that needs to be dealt with. I don't disagree with you.
You know that rumor has it that Brad is a ragoon. You know.
Of course.
Next week, baby.
MJ Dark, $2 super chat. What's going on, MJ Dark? Good to see you. He says
right
John Wolf is playing on the ROG, looking choppy.
No. First of all, I'm playing through GeForce now, and second of all, you're about to get eaten up by this thing. Need some help with
and MJ drops another $2 super chat and says, John got that Cuba internet with his streaming.
Oh, come on, man.
Wow.
You're holding me back over here, man.
Now, I left this last note for on purpose from the great brother Ty Talks, because I was going to bring this up as a pro tip, and he, of course, being real smart, he knows what I'm talking about. He has that as a tip himself. He says, have you heard of Better xCloud? It's an app that makes xCloud better. That was going to be my pro tip, sir. I appreciate you calling it out. I was about to call it out myself. So for those who aren't aware, there's an app, or there's a service, if you will. It's a bunch of it's basically plugins and stuff for your browser. There's variants of it on TVs and on phones, called Better xCloud, and this is what it looks like. You basically go to Better xCloud, type in Better xCloud into a browser, and you'll come here, and it gives you plugins for various sources. You can read up on it, you can get real deep on it, but you don't have to, right? It's very simple. You want to do it on iOS or iPad OS. You have an LG TV, Android TV, Meta Quest, Windows, iOS device, Steam OS devices. You install the plugin, right? And when you install the plugin, you get this. So now I'll go to this side here. Now you get this. Now, when you look at this, you think, what do you get? It's the same thing. No, it's not, because next to my name, there is now an additional plugin. When you click on it, what it does is it takes you to a settings page where you can basically define your own terms at this point. You can go in here, the resolution, you can set it to 1080p. Bam, right from rip. You can say, I want 1080p. I want the visuals high. You can set your video bit rate if you want. You can enable volume control, right? You could do a whole bunch of very, very cool, geeky, deep technical things that you do on your PC. You can do that right here, and it will make xCloud, it'll force xCloud to run better. You can even change the UI from the normal UI to a smart TV UI if you so choose, right? This is like the best way of getting a bookmark on your TV, because you know TVs these days have browsers. You set this up, you bookmark it, and now you have xCloud on your television without even having the app, right? You can totally do it with this thing.
That's really cool,
right? Yeah, this is a very, very cool little service that free 99. Anybody can just download it and use it. But you do that, and it gives you really, really interesting features, right?
Is it on Android as well, okay? If you know.
It is on Android as well. Yes, it is on Android as well. You can do like interesting things with touchscreen. You can enable native keyboard mouse support if you so choose. You can enable local co-op multiplayer, right? Nice. So imagine you're both sitting at both sitting at your computer or wherever you are, and you want to play two players local on xCloud. That's not really possible, but there are games that support it. You can do this, and then it will check for a second controller, and now both of you are playing.
TMNT for the kids.
Yes,
come on.
Exactly, right? So, and Fortnite, you can force the console version versus the mobile version. Like, there's just a lot of really cool stuff that better xCloud can do. I mean, after this, I'm not saying it'll be tit for tat with xCloud with GeForce Now. It still won't, because GeForce Now just gives you more bandwidth. But this thing gives you a lot more capabilities, a lot more features. So if you haven't checked it out, my suggestion is to do so. Better xCloud, it's called. It's free. It's just a bunch of plugins that you download and install onto your various browsers, right? Whether it be in-game, on your PC, on your tablet, on various many places that you can do it. Even iOS, you can do it. So there you go. I hope you all check it out. It might broaden your cloud gaming experiences a little bit there. Yeah? So there you go.
That's a great tip, and I'm actually gonna download that for my Odin Pro 2. I'm gonna do that right after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this, Kay, because we're kind of talking state of cloud gaming as a whole, right?
Yep.
So you showed off a little bit of xCloud with the game with Pikachu. I think that was it, right?
Piku Niku, sir. Piku Niku.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I meant. And then what's this called? I showed off a little bit of GeForce Now. Is there any way you can jump on Luna and show that off a little bit? So
wow, okay. I haven't played Luna in a minute and a half. Let me give that a shot and see what happens.
Not to put you on the spot, but
no. Let's do it.
So that we can have proper representation between all services. But I'll take over a little bit while you go doing that. What I see, like a lot of people asking themselves, and by the way, head on over to our GCP website. Kay, what's the link for that? So
it is thegamingcircle.com, ladies and gentlemen, thegamingcircle.com, which, by the way, you bring up a good point. The great prolific one, he came at us with a bad article. Well, not bad, but content bad article last week. The Black Viking did, trying to tell us to kill the chief. I wasn't having that.
He just wants the chief to step aside.
He wants to sidestep the chief.
Yeah, sure.
Today though, he yes sir. Today he posted a very great article talking about his findings, and very apt, of course, about xCloud, because he also has been testing GeForce Now, specifically not GeForce Now, specifically Xbox cloud gaming. Which, let's go to that site. He's been checking out cloud gaming, and he had some thoughts. So he put it on papers. On the digital papers. So go check out his new article. It's actually very well written, as the man is, and he has some interesting things to say. And I can't say I disagree with any of his takes.
Right.
So yeah.
So the thing, and the reason that I piggyback on that is because that's something that me and Kay said, that we're going to try to do our best to kind of leverage a little bit of what we're adding to the website, so that we can piggyback on some of these comments. And let me on this commentary that we're doing. And let me tell you, I haven't read it yet, but one thing I will tell you is that I did hear him over the weekend on GCP, and he was talking about kind of how it's not ready for prime time. So who is this really geared towards, right? When you really think about it, let's talk about that for a second. When we think about the performance of these various services, because here's the thing. I think that one of the things that all of us are guilty of is that we want to judge things how us, the gamer that I've been gaming since the NES, Duck Hunt was my first ever game, with those eyes. So I'm judging this thing very harshly because I have 40 years of experience in gaming. Here. Oh sure.
No. I'll get back to the game. It's playing in my headphones, and it's really y'all don't hear it, but I do, and I do.
Okay,
stop it. But continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. So we like to kind of judge things harshly, and we need to remember something. And I think that this is very important, especially when that question gets asked, why is Xbox launching this thing if it doesn't look like it's ready to go? It's not up to our standard. But here's the thing. Give a controller to, like, take yourself back to when you were in elementary or middle school. Man, you just want to play a game. You don't care what is on the screen. You don't care what the resolution is. You don't care if it's fuzzy. You don't care if Batman Arkham Knight looks fuzzy. You don't care if Doom Eternal's a little bit laggy. You just want to play, man. And the thing is that when you try to look at things with those glasses, it completely changes your mentality of why they feel it's okay to launch this thing. Because just
Mm-hmm.
imagine that imagine that you're watching the newest season of something on Amazon Prime, and then you see an ad, Call of Duty on Game Pass on your Amazon Fire Stick. Let's just say, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let me give this thing a try. And if it's good enough, it's good enough. And I
Yes.
will tell you that it is at its current state good enough.
Good enough. That's
Is it
right.
where
Yeah.
is it in a place where we can say, hey, that's it. We can put the consoles and the PC in the closet and don't worry about that stuff anymore. No, of course not. But again, I think that these are we're building the stepping stones to get there, right?
You know what? I agree with you. I will say that is a part that I always struggle with, and I hope that we all struggle with that as well. The idea that you have to stop thinking like we are gamers, right? We are the core audience. We have been for a while. You know, we love our games. We play our games. We're about the games. But like to your point, imagine that time or place when you were a kid and they handed you a controller, right? For me, I didn't have, and early on, I wasn't allowed to play games in my household. We'll talk about that later. I wasn't allowed to, so I'd go on my, I'd go to friends' houses, or I'd go to neighbors' houses, or I'd go to my cousins' houses, and they would have this amazing device that would play freaking Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and the music was amazing, and I was very musically inclined as a kid, and it just blew my wig back. It blew my mind, right? And I just could not understand how this thing existed and why it was so amazing. And I didn't care what the pixels were. I didn't care, when my buddy let me borrow the freaking Game Gear, I didn't care that it took 2,500 batteries and it lasted for 5 minutes. No, I had to make sure that I was sitting on like a pile of 50 batteries just to be able to play for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's what it was. And just because we are beyond that point does not mean that there aren't others coming up behind us that are also beyond that point. There are some people that still to this very day believe it's magic from the gods, and we must allow for that, right? We must, and to them, you plug that Fire Stick in the back of your TV, I'm casting I'm casting no aspersions. It's not like you're cheap or you're broke or whatever. This probably isn't part of your life for one reason or another. And then this small little USB stick like thing gets plugged into the back of your TV, and now you have access to hundreds of games, and they play relatively well. Shit, I'm sorry, it's still magical.
And by the way, shout out to Blast Processing. All right, that's what got you.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
That's what got us as kids. But seriously, like it's just one of those things that like sometimes I like to take a step back in these conversations, and I like to think to myself, if a company is making a decision, right, that they feel is in their best interest to do it, why are they doing it? Like I try to go through the thought process and I say, okay, who is this really geared towards? And if
it's not for you, but who else would it be for?
Exactly. And the thing is that it is geared towards that person that is not, it just doesn't want a console, just doesn't want a PC. They're probably, they probably have a PS4 or an Xbox One because they bought one at one point, or they probably still have a PS3 because they use it as a Blu-ray player. And now all of a sudden they see this thing and they're like, hey, why not? How much is this thing? $19. Now we can debate the business all day. I heard you the other day on Boom Show. I agree with you. I was saying that they should have a cloud only option for Amazon.
Bro, it is nuts to me. Especially now that it's good enough, it is nuts to me that they don't have a tier that I can just throw at someone as a gift.
Crazy.
Here's an xCloud, here's a Fire Stick, and oh, by the way, here's this subscription model, which I will start for you, and then you can just keep going with it. And it can't be $20. Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Look, let me tell you, even though that, and again, this goes into the conversation of us gamers needing to kind of take a step back in what we're saying. $20 to us for Game Pass, we understand. Look, nobody's happy about the price increase. Nobody is. But we understand the value that we're still getting because it is still a value proposition at the current moment. But someone that doesn't know who
Wow.
ABK is.
So real quick, I don't mean to interrupt you. The latency is non-existent. But then again, I'm also playing through Ethernet, and I'm also playing through wired connection, right? But man, it's
That's
like
Luna.
it's like
Luna, right?
Yes, it's like wow, it's right on point. It's great.
By the way, leading up to the show, and I told you this yesterday, Kay, I had ordered 2 4K Fire Sticks. I even went full board, and I got the Amazon Luna controller.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
nice. I hear it's a pretty decent controller.
I wish I could tell you, but here's the thing: my mail person decided to say that they delivered the package, and there's no package.
Oh, you've been shafted. Oh, that's terrible, bro. That's terrible.
It was a whole thing this morning. I had to call Amazon. Whatever. I'm gonna eventually get it. They said by tomorrow, but still, shout out to UPS. What I was gonna tell you is that when you really think about it, right, the biggest hurdles that Xbox I think has, or GeForce Now, or Luna, because Luna is within Amazon too. The biggest hurdle that they have is convincing someone to pick up a controller. That is the barrier between someone actively engaging in a game and signing up for the service. So how do you think that they can overcome that challenge? How do you think, like, for example, like, let's say that if you owned a PS4, if you owned an Xbox One, if you owned the Switch, the controllers, you can make it work, right? But if you don't own a console at all, how do they message that you still need a controller? And I think that that's something that they're not doing too well at the moment. I think that needs improvement.
So I agree with you. Like, my first idea was, and I know that these guys are not selling this as a game console, right? Yes, some of the marketing seems to be a little bit, no console, no problem. I get that. But they're not selling this as a console, right? What they're saying is, hey, you're already going to buy this Fire Stick for $40. You're going to watch The Boys. You're going to watch Reacher. You're going to watch all those games, all those shows that you watch on Amazon Prime. So why not also be able to game on that thing, right? It's a secondary feature that this thing can do that you were already going to buy anyway, right? But I would still advocate, and I'm hoping that someone hears me, that this holiday season at some point you see a Fire Stick bundled with an Xbox controller, and also a subscription, because the ink isn't dry on the whole subscription thing yet, right? There's the new tier coming in September. There should be a subscription tier specifically for cloud gaming. No day and date games, sure. You want to make sure you have some value there. That's fine, right? No day and date games, that's fine. You don't even want to play multiplayer, because this service and the way it is currently does not really allow for seamless, Twitch free multiplayer, right? You can't really do that well. So remove multiplayer, remove day and date games. Like, because of the way this service works, it would benefit from a curated list, right? Yeah. Games like this that don't require, this does have like very high platformers have very high precision needs, but this seems to be working pretty well with it. Then again, I'm also on a connected Ethernet, but you can curate a list. There's a bunch of games inside xCloud that would work great in a cloud gaming scenario, right? Not all of them, right? I probably wouldn't put Halo in there, and that's not even to say that you stop those games from being playable, but maybe like put a disclaimer saying these games are not like optimized for cloud gaming, right? Whereas these other ones are. But that would teach people what to look for and what not to look for. Add a controller to the mix, bundle it in, But it is a very hard hill to climb, because I know you were listening in on the show we had yesterday, and shout out to the Great Web Dave. We had an awesome show yesterday. A bunch of folks jumped on. We had such a great conversation, and it was said there, and Hargeet said it, and he was right. While we are mid to late gen right now, it's very hard to sell someone on something like this, right? So to make an xCloud, to make a Fire Stick really a viable option, what you need to do at that point is you need to get the Ethernet adapter, right? That would be an extra $15 in addition to the 40 you have, right? Then you bundle a controller with it. That would be another $60 if you don't have a controller yourself, but presumably you are probably one of those people who don't have a controller because you're not really into gaming.
I got an idea for that, but I'll go after you. Go ahead.
Okay. And then you'd also want to have at least the trial version, if not a proper version of xCloud or some kind of streaming service, which would also cost you something. So you're talking low 100 and 110, 115, $120, something
My
like that
opinion.
for that bundle.
My opinion, it can't be over 100, but go ahead.
But this is my point. Currently, today, to bundle those together, you're in the low 115, 120 range, right? Come Black Friday, are you not telling me that you will not find a Series S for 140, 130 bucks?
Yeah.
I've seen them already, right?
Yep.
And that's local rendered, bang, bang. You got all your bells and whistles right there. You can even do light ray tracing. Like, it's all there. So it's very hard to sell someone on the vision of this being very convenient, right? Because like the Black Viking was saying, it is super convenient. You throw it in the bag. You're on a business trip. You throw it in the bag, and there you go. You're playing your games, having a great time. When the time comes, you're good to go, right? You could just jump in the waters and you're fine. Problem with that is, you get to your destination, you are beholden to Wi-Fi, right? Unless you're paying killer buku bucks for a higher level Wi-Fi, or if they have better Wi-Fi there, right? You're not going to be able to play at the clip that you want to be able to play because you're beholden to the infrastructure in the location. So local rendering always wins out. It just does. You were going to say, sir.
Yeah, great points. I think that the plan to attack what I think is the biggest hurdle, which is that controller, I think that's the biggest hurdle, to be honest. I think that this is the way that you can do this. You can do this in two ways.
Okay.
You can enable, and if this already exists, I don't know, because I haven't heard it, but maybe it does. How about you let people know that they can use their tablet or their phone for selective games, so that
that has existed for like 2 years now. But they've turned normal games like this. They've added touch functionality to normal games in xCloud.
Perfect.
Like today, you can do that. There's a bunch of them that you can do that with.
So they're already thinking ahead. They're already there.
Yes. It's been done. Yes.
But now the next step, you need to be able to play it from your phone while it's on the big screen. That's the next step. That's the evolution.
Oh, you mean like use your phone as a controller?
Exactly. That's the evolution, where the layout of the controller is on your phone, because that's how you get someone to try it without having the hurdle of buying a controller. Okay? If you give them an option to just use it on your phone, maybe they're like, hey, you know what? This is kind of fun. I actually want to experience this with an actual controller, right? So that's number one. Then the next thing that they can do, and I think that this goes in line with what you're saying, which I think it's ultimately what they do need to do. I
gotta stop playing this game, bro. I gotta stop. I can't focus.
No, it's okay. Dude, I was getting trashed by those zombies. So so here's the thing. The second thing that they can do.
Yep.
You remember when Sony used to have what was the name of it? Iowa or AWA? You remember that? That they had kind of like an off-brand, that they were Sony, and then they also had I think it was called AOA, or that they had, and I'm not talking about Avatar here, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. But they had like a second, like a lower tier option for people that was still under the Sony banner. What Xbox should do here is that they
MJ Dark says Ouya. You're missing the
No, it's not Ouya. Look it up. It was called AWA, and I know because that's the one that my mom could afford. She couldn't afford a Sony Walkman, so she got me an AWA Walkman. Yeah. So look it up. You're gonna see it was under the Sony umbrella.
And real quick, shout out to the almost 500 people watching. Oh, you mean Vio? That's what it was. VIO. Yes, it was Vio. They had Sony Vios. Yes,
that's what it might be.
The 500 people in here, and most of them are on X. We have like 400 people watching us on X right now.
No.
Shout out to y'all.
No. It was called AWA. AIWA. You can look it up. It was owned.
Oh yeah, by Sony yeah. You're right. It was a secondary brand of theirs. Exactly. I remember that logo. Yes,
exactly. Yes. It was their consumer friendly option, right? So I'm not saying that Xbox needs to create a second brand here. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to bundle these Fire Sticks with a cheaper controller. So remove the Rumble, remove anything in there that you can.
I mean, that's not
but-
fair. Like, you
hear
see
me
this
out.
controller here? It's got rumble. It's got like extra features, and it's way cheaper
Hear
than an
me out.
Xbox controller.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I don't know what they need to strip out. Just make it no more than $25. No more.
Sure.
Okay?
I get you. Yeah.
So if they can get down to $25 plus $25 to $35 for this Fire Stick thing at a $50 or $60 bundle, now you're cooking with gas. Okay.
See, but you know my pushback to that though, like, I have 1,000,001 controllers. I have good ones, I have bad ones, I have third-party ones, I have ones that do everything and anything. You're a game. No, but hear me. My children, I understand, but hear me. My children who have all the options in the world they hate controllers. They don't want to touch it. And remember, these are the future, right? You want to make sure that the future is about this. You're like, hey, the controller is the big hurdle. You're right. The controller is the big hurdle, but it's not price. It's the fact that they're so used to like touchscreen and touchscreen devices that they think a controller is quaint. So my wife and I were watching Back to the Future 2. Remember Back to the Future 2 when he goes to the future? Yeah. When he goes to the future and then he finds an arcade game and he's like, oh, I used to be a crack shot, and he starts playing it. And then baby Elijah Wood is like, oh, you got to use your hands?
Hell no.
That's how kids perceive controllers today. It's not about the price. There are many controllers that are great out there, right? But kids are so used to playing, like my kids. We play Minecraft together. Oh man. My kids and we play Minecraft together all the time. The problem is I'll break out the controllers and we're all playing on Xbox. Nope. They'll play on their tablets. They'll build their world on their tablets, and I'll jump in on Xbox because hell no, they're not using the controllers. They don't like them.
Well, here's the third thing, and I'm giving Xbox free ideas here. Come on, people. Okay, check this out. So so I've already given you an idea how you can take away the fear of playing with a controller. Make sure that the majority of your games have this touch capability that you can be on the big screen. They do. Play on your phone or your tablet. Second, make a cheaper controller. Third, and this is the last one and the most important one that will get people in. Okay. You gotta get these touch friendly mobile games on your service. On Game
I mean, bro, you're basically you're defining Microsoft's plan already. Why do you think they bought freaking Candy Crush?
It needs to be in there. Like, all of these touch friendly games, they need to have kind of like a mobile section. Oh yeah. That is just catered towards those type of games. Your Halo dating simulator that Slomo wants to come out with. Okay?
Halo is strange. Halo is strange.
The Halo dating evolution that Slomo. Oh man. I'm convinced you completely want to kill off Halo, but whatever. So what's this called? If they can do, in my opinion, those three things, they're going to garner, I believe, the user base that they're looking for, because at its current moment right now, it's still a tough thing to tell someone to just click on the ad. That's the biggest hurdle. How do you get the people to click on? Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Like the controller problem that you're describing, and I gotta stop playing. These dudes is murking me. I can't focus. You've reached that part of the game where now you're really gonna start.
You gotta focus. You gotta focus, and I can't focus. Anyway, look, that controller problem you define is a real problem, but I don't think it's a burden of cost. I think it's just like, you know how back in the day we were what do you call it, Blackberries with the touch screen with the little clicky keyboards, and then we went, we'll never transition to touch screen. Touch screen is ridiculous.
It was blasphemy to say,
right? And now, can you go back to the clicky touch screen phone with a little?
I'm a unique case. I misspell things all the time because I hate it, but I get what you're saying. Yeah,
but by and large, even us old heads have basically given up the ghost. No one's going back. It's all this now.
We have, right?
And unfortunately, since day one of our lives and our children's lives, presumably they had these guys. they have gotten used to these devices, and giving them something like this that requires clicky and they don't know what to do, it's kind of crazy. They're not there. We have passed that point. So maybe somebody comes up with a control scheme that mimics touch, something, because this does not work for them. It just does not.
And here's the thing: you want to know something? I had a conversation one time with a work colleague that she literally told me that because everyone knows that I like games and stuff like that, so we're always talking. Like I'm always trying to like encourage them to try stuff. And the thing is that this stuck with me. They're intimidated because of the amount of buttons.
The amount of buttons, of course. Hell yes. That is the number one thing I hear. It's the number of buttons, innately knowing what each button does, because on touchscreens, it's intuitive. You want him to walk, you flick, he walks, right? How should you know innately that the left thumbstick is the one you use versus the right thumbstick is the one that look at? It's gamer brain. We've built it over years. They don't have that.
Exactly. It's like riding a bike for the first time, and you're gonna.
And let me be clear here, right? Let me be clear. When I say that the control scheme is a problem, it is anecdotal. It's only my use case, but I have tried, ladies and gentlemen. I have tried. So this was the first controller I handed my children. This is the 8-bit dough. It's a real controller. 8-bit dough makes it for little hands.
It looks like my vitamin.
Got a USB-C. Oh yeah. This is the first controller my daughter was using to make sure she could game, right? And oh, by the way, shout out to Xbox. I've been yelling and screaming forever. When we went to the June showcase, they gave us these controllers, and this is a wired variant, but it's a smaller controller that my son can use, right? It doesn't matter. I am advocating. Shout out to the great Mav. What's going on, Fun Speculation? Good to see you here, man. Yeah. It's great to have the community with us as we're doing all this.
Yep.
I have been, hey, try this controller. I have 101 controllers, ladies and gentlemen. I have so many of them. Yeah, and they all do different things. They don't give a flying 747 about a controller. They want the touchscreen. They just do.
My daughter hates it, dude. And the thing is that like I see her, like I give her a controller. And I'm like, all right, mama, we're gonna play through TMNT together. I want to record it so that I can have that in my memory, whatever. Dude, I see her struggle so much. I'm like, press the button and hit the foot soldiers. Come on, man, I need help here. Okay, so she just struggles. And then when I see her over on the side with the iPad or the phone, dude, she's going through Roblox like she can do
beast.
She can do dance routine. She can do anything on that thing. And I'm just looking at her like, what is going on here?
I will caveat this by saying one thing, okay? My 5-year-old son, Julian, great little man, makes me proud every day. He is a beast with the Nintendo Switch controller.
Oh, nice.
Like Joy-Cons. This kid, you know when you watch like people stream and they're like a pro level Mario gamers, like
Mario Maker.
There's like a block here. And then a block all the way there, and they gotta jump, fly, do a flip with their hat, jump on the hat to get to the other. My son does all of that stuff. My 5-year-old does all, and he does that with a Joy-Con controller.
That's amazing.
So it seems to me that for whatever reason, dang Nintendo has figured it out. So it's either touchscreen or the little teeny tiny Joy-Cons that break when you look at them.
They've been figuring it out for a while. That's all I'm saying. MJ, don't get excited. That's all the Nintendo praise you're gonna get. All right, Rock Ally X next week. I got you on my site. I got you on my site. All right. But yeah, man, that's great to hear. That's great to hear with little man being able to kind of.
Oh yeah, he's a monster, man. Like I come home, I'm a long day at work. I come home, I hear the scroll for beaten game from either one Mario game. Last time it was like Sonic 2, like old school Sonic games. Like. Dude is a monster when it comes to and it's all on the little Joy-Con.
Imagine Julian when he's old enough and he has permission and he becomes like a Mario speedrunner on Twitch. Can you imagine? And world champion, and he beats all of MJ's dark because he's gonna beat him. Because come on, this dude, like you saw him in World War Z. Okay, so
stop it. So let's transition this conversation to I want to hear, because as I said, I've been playing on this for a week. I've been playing on the Fire Stick for a while. As you guys saw, we were playing Luna, which was also really cool, and it works very surprisingly well. They are like one of the best kept secrets because they don't like to promote their stuff, but it works surprisingly well. I want to know, John Wolf, I know you have different devices than I have. You've been on the Odin, CCP device.
Hey,
you've been on all these other devices.
Let's pretend for this show that it's not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I love
indeed.
CCP devices.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Of course you do. Yeah, you do. So you've been on many different devices, right? Playing these games. What game? Where do you fall in this? What is your cloud gaming device of choice?
I've been using the Odin Pro 2 a lot lately, and
Okay.
since I'm also signed up for GeForce Now, I've been doing primarily most of my streaming through there. The game that I was playing a lot through cloud obviously was Assassin's Creed Odyssey when I was trying to just get through that game, and it was a chore. I played that a lot through cloud, and let me tell you, there were days that I completely forgot that I was playing through cloud. Okay,
that's great. But you're talking GeForce Now too, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Because it was also on xCloud, and you won't forget you're playing on cloud.
So the thing is that when like kind of the way that I've kind of been using just cloud gaming is that for xCloud, I use it kind of to demo games, like something new pops up. I'll use it to just pop in for a few minutes and see what the game is about, or I'll hear yourself or MJ Dark, which he's always giving us great recommendations. He'll tell us in our DMs, hey, you guys got to try this game, it's really good, and I'll be like, let's see, let me just give it a try. So that's what I primarily use xCloud for. And then Luna is I'm excited to jump in with all this stuff coming my way, but that UPS driver kind of ruined that. But I miss Stadia, man. I wish it was still a thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still sometimes
let's take a quick detour on Stadia. Let's take a quick detour on Stadia, because I know you and I were chatting about it, and I want the community's thoughts on it as well. I know Stadia made a big hit. I facetiously say it was doomed because it had the Grim Reaper of gaming leading it. Shout out to Phil Harrison. But truth be told, I think it was doomed from jump because it needed, and plug your ears, Floodzilla, I'm sorry. It needed a full port to Linux in order for it to work, right? Every game that ran off of there did not run through translation layers, did not run on Windows and somehow it would translate it or some kind of emulation. No, they needed to port a version to Linux in order for the game to work, right? And like, it's happened a time or two. It's happened over and over and over again. You got Valve, one of the biggest PC companies in the world, who at some point hated Microsoft and hated Windows with the fire of 1,000 suns, to the point where they started floating the idea of Steam machines, if you recall, where they would load up Linux machines, and it was going to change the world. It fell flat on its face.
I think it was $100 in GameStop at one point. It
was flat on its face. It fell. And why? It's because you're not going to change the paradigm of development, right? You're not, so much so that now Valve is winning by translating Windows into Linux games, right? Yeah. That's what they're doing. They have to go to where the developers are, which is Windows, right? Mac, people are loving what Mac is doing in the ARM world. Oh, they have this shared memory space that they could, like, it'll give you 3,000 VRAM if you so choose. They're doing all these crazy things. Ain't nobody going to develop on a Mac, right? You've seen Capcom developing and porting stuff to Mac. Runs great, looks great. It's not going to open any floodgates. You're not going to change the huge billion-dollar industry to now start developing for Mac for Linux full time, right? And because of that, Google being Google, not wanting to go where the game developers were, they were like, no, you come in here. Right. So all those great games, I saw like a few people were saying that, hey, what do you call it? You played Cyberpunk on it, it ran great. You played this on it, it ran great. They paid people to make those ports, right? How long can Google keep paying people to make ports? When are they going to, out of the kindness or out of the fact that, hey, this market is big enough on this side, we're going to start developing? It would take billions of dollars to turn that tide. and they were like, nah, man, we want to keep our money. Peace.
Yeah, that's 100%. And the thing is that when we were having that conversation yesterday, since I didn't know about that stuff in the back end of what they were running or whatever the case may be, one of the things that I was focused on solely was the performance of the service.
Performance is great.
And that algorithm, they just had they had the algorithm down packed. They had the presentation of how the game would start, the window dressing, all that was top notch. The way that you would be able to seamlessly switch between devices was amazing. So they did a lot of great things, but I didn't know. I always thought that the thing that really like killed them was just their business model.
Phil Harrison, when he came out with the sick.
No, I mean, he's the kiss of death for sure. But what I'm trying to say is that I thought
he's gonna block me. I'm sorry. It's just jokes, man.
Hey, man, we got a Josh Sawyer. You got your own Josh Sawyer. So,
I know clearly.
so when you were telling me this yesterday, I was absolutely shocked because I was like, if you think about it, this was such a great idea from the get-go because it's Google, it's YouTube, it's Google. I mean, how can this fail?
That's why the algorithm is so good, because they've had years and years and years of honing that 4K algorithm. They apply it to anywhere and it runs righteous, right? They have amazing 4K content on YouTube, which isn't really 4K, but it's good enough, more than good enough. They have a lot of experience in that realm. So when they started, theirs was the best looking. And their latency was minimal. It was really, really good. It really was. The problem is, in order to do that, you have to fundamentally change the development pipeline of millions of developers. And that ain't going down. You're not making everyone go Linux.
Let's address the other elephant in the room that my mind went to automatically, so that you can answer this for anybody listening that might think the same thing that I did. I told you yesterday, I wish that Xbox would bend the knee and just license out the Google tech. But as you told me, there's no need for that because you want to explain why? Because up until yesterday, I was like, if the Stadia service works so well, I wish that xCloud was running some of that.
So another reason why the Google tech works so well is because they were leveraging Orion, right? They were leveraging an API level tool called Orion. O'Reilly? Stop it.
Is that what you said?
They were leveraging Orion, and basically in doing so, what it did was it was the hurdle they needed to get that latency down to the point of minuscule, right? To the point where you barely felt it. You saw it in presentation. It was whiz bang. It was awesome. Everybody's like, wow, this is going to be the next level. Guess what it was? It was a tool owned by Bethesda. Who owns Bethesda now? Why isn't Orion being leveraged currently? Because they got freaking consoles in the cloud, man. Look, people keep talking about, the CEGs among us, the console emotional gamers among us keep going, Series S is holding us back. No, all of them are holding us back. Yeah. Because if it wasn't for the consoles in the cloud, they'd be rolling Azure proper, and then all these tools could be brought to bear, right? Yeah. All the development pipelines use Windows 90% of the time, right? They've done well in the environment where to make an Xbox game or to make a console game for Microsoft, it's kind of turnkey, right? You're already building a PC game. Turning it into an Xbox game is nominal at best, right? I mean, I'm being overly broad. It does take a lot of work, and it will continue to take a lot of work, but it's better than porting, right? They've done very, very well in aligning the existing development pipeline with console development pipeline. So it's very easy to transition between them both. All of the bedrock is there. All of the fundamentals are laid. All they need to do now is start using the proper infrastructure, which right now, for reasons, they weren't, right? But again, we are already mid to late gen in our console cycle right now, right? How much longer will Series S and X last? I don't foresee them being around for the next 4 or 5 years again. No, soon enough, they're transitioning to something else. And when they do, here's me hoping and speculating, when they do, and the Series X becomes an obsolete last gen thing, they upgrade their environment to Azure. And when they do that, all these tools can now be brought to bear, right? So they don't need to transition to any other tool.
So do you think it's a possibility that the same way that I can use my ROG Ally X next week, log on to don't roll the eyes, it's coming, and we're gonna talk about it next week, and full episode dedicated. Might even do a live.
God.
Might even
yeah. Fantastic. Let's go.
So Xbox gamers might be in the same world where you can get your handheld PC of choice, ROG Ally X, and then you log on to GeForce Now and you have a seamless experience. You're telling me that maybe for Xbox gamers in the future, they can look forward to some of the same, where they have their Xbox handheld, they can either play the game local or sign on to the cloud, and then hopefully Azure is backing that up.
And by the way, shout out to Ains if he's still here. He said that, and I really agree with him. Like, people don't give Microsoft enough credit for today, that's happening today, even beyond the future dreams of cloud gaming. Theirs is the only ecosystem where today you can take your game playing on your console, right? And not all of them because business, but there are scenarios where you can take your game that's running on a console, you pause, you pick it up on a handheld, you continue, same game save, you pause, you pick it up on the PC, same game save, and you didn't have to buy a copy. It all just kind of seamlessly lives together, right? You bought one copy, it's there with you on your PC if you need it. Since it's there on your PC, you can put it on the handheld, you can play it on the big dog PC, you can play it on your console, and it just transitions with your saves and everything with you wherever you are. They do that today, right?
That's the next dream, honestly.
Oh yeah, they do it. They do that today, and in the scenarios where that game we're talking about is also an xCloud, it works there too. You just get your same save right there. Right now, if I were to load up Starfield, I'm continuing my save because it's right there in the cloud wherever I choose to play it, right? So they definitely deserve credit for that. I do think that what you're describing, there is a world where that happens, right? They've already made those investments, and now you know that they're taking it seriously. You don't spend $70 billion and then defer it next year, right? I wholeheartedly, I believe, and this is obviously speculation on my part, I believe that the next version of Windows will take gaming more seriously than it ever has. Beyond just an app, you'll have sections within that operating system dedicated to making Windows perform well on handhelds and making them easily accessible in the cloud and all that. When that dream happens, that's just more transitional, more places that you, the consumer, can just take your games with you, right? I honestly do think that we are on the precipice of that. It's just, we're dealing with today's technology versus tomorrow's technology.
Yeah, and you just real fast, not to derail the show, but you just brought up a really great idea. Can you imagine if they have different profiles for you to pick? Like, for example, you want to do gaming and you launch it like in a tiny Windows environment where there's nothing bare bones running in the background, only your web browser, only your apps that you and then you get an extra boost of performance from that. Can you imagine that?
Almost like a hypervisor that's attached to the operating system that just runs, and in it you're just in Xbox wherever you are. Interesting, no? Now you also played with the Fire Stick, right? Or you haven't started yet?
No, because the UPS guy,
because of the controller. Yes.
All right.
Here's the thing. Here's a nugget that I want you to pay attention to, and just think about it and let me know once you've had a chance to experience it. Is it something weird? Do we read into the fact that on the Fire Stick, the app that you play Game Pass on is not called Game Pass? It's called Xbox. Like on the Android devices, there is an actual Xbox app that you can use to communicate with your friends and this and that and the third. And then you have a Game Pass app, and all it is Game Pass. That's what that app is.
That's
right?
Correct.
And when you go in there, you're playing Game Pass games and everything else. On the Fire Stick, the app is called Xbox, but it gives you cloud gaming access.
That goes against what everybody's been speculating, that they were going to do away with the Xbox brand and just.
It's weird. Yeah, I was like, that's surprising because in the paradigm where you're accessing this thing, and you are nowhere shape or form connected to Xbox, what does that word mean to you? Nothing. But they're still using it. They didn't call it Game Pass, which I think you would have called it Game Pass, right? But they're calling it Xbox. Is that notable? Are they doing that on purpose for some reason? Think about it. When you play around with the app and you get your controller thing sorted, let's regroup and talk about that at some point. But yeah, I noticed that when I was playing with it today.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll take a look at that. But as you you could probably imagine, like they're gonna go like if some of these rumors that we've been hearing for a while end up being true, cloud is something that it's not that they're banking their future on, but I'm sure that they have leveraged, they have put themselves in a position where they are ready just in case that takes off. You know, they're ready because they have their foot in better than, like, let's say, for example, another company that's like, you know, Google was to come in again and say, hey, you remember Stadia? We're bringing that back. I think everybody will be like, really? I think everybody's going to give them the, bruh. Okay, like, how many times we're going to get burned here? And we're still
where's Phil Harrison? See, now you're going to get blocked. Calm down.
Where's he hiding? Where's Waldo? Okay.
Yep. No, I don't disagree with you. I really do think that they are uniquely positioned to make this thing happen. They are uniquely positioned to make this thing happen, right? And I would even go further to say it's not that they're hedging their bets in case it happens. They're almost assured that it will happen. And until it does, they're just kind of they're just sitting back and going, okay, you know, we'll just sit here and we'll keep our eye out. We all know this is what's going down eventually. We see Netflix works, you know.
Yes. And the thing is that now let's think about this as gamers. Let's think that we get to a place where it works good enough, where it's 4K, but to your eyes it's 4K.
It doesn't matter. That's right. Yeah.
The latency is almost non-existent because the internet speeds have gotten better, the algorithms have gotten better, all that stuff. I do believe that at one point, most gamers are going to transition to that future where some gamers are still going to want local hardware, which is perfectly fine. I'm probably going to be a hardware guy my whole life. But how will that split come up? Very interesting in the next 10 or 10 years. How is that split going to be in the divide? Like, is it going to be where if the service keeps on getting better and better and it's not so cumbersome where you have to see a little spaceship floating across your screen, it just turns on and things like that, as that goes advancing and the friction goes down, and it becomes, this is the key word, convenient. When it becomes
more convenient, it becomes Netflix.
Exactly, because remember, the physical warriors for a long time dominated. Oh, we need our physical media. It's never going away. Where now, who wants to stand up and change a disc, Kay? Who wants to do that? Like, you tell me to do that right now, I'll be like, bro, really? Like, come on. Are you kidding me?
Every time you say that and your Stream Deck talk makes me think you're like that dude from WALL-E who can't be even bothered to stand up. You just got to press the button.
100%, because we're spoiled that way. But the thing is that like, let's say that you were playing Final Fantasy VII. Go back to 1990, whatever that game launched,
and change all 15 discs.
Get out of here! Right now, you tell me that, I'll be like, I'm not gonna play that game. Get out of here. Forget it. I don't disc. But honestly, that's the world that we.
No, I hear you. And you know what? I will even hedge and push back on one aspect that you're saying. Right? I believe that revolution starts way earlier than what you think. Because
10 years,
everything I think 10 years is too late. It's too long. Everything you're describing right now, where the latency is good enough, where all those pieces of the puzzle are here today. They just haven't been put together. Remember, there was the leaks, the Xbox leaks some time ago. They were talking about a controller that's Wi-Fi connected.
Yeah, I remember that.
I say that thing releases sometime this year, if not early next year.
That would be smart,
right? No, but imagine that, right? Imagine you have a Wi-Fi enabled controller, right? And this is just pure speculation on my part, but there's no world where you start putting xCloud on handheld devices that use crappy Wi-Fi radios and call it a day. No, you have to find a way of bypassing those crappy Wi-Fi radios. So what do? You create a controller that connects directly to the data center. Now, who cares about the crappy Wi-Fi radio?
That's how Luna does it,
Right?
by the way. And Stadia did it
Exactly.
like that. Yep.
Exactly. So I am convinced that sooner rather than later, especially now that we see them offering the app to like your Fire Stick, sooner rather than later, like I can see it now in my head. This Christmas, a bundle with that fabled controller and a Fire Stick bundled together. There you go. And the latency will be way better because it's connecting to the data center rather than through your Bluetooth radio. Right? The puzzle pieces are here today. Just because they have not worked out in their favor does not mean that the technology is not ready. It is. They themselves have just not put it together. Right? GeForce Now proves that it's ready today. They're using it today. Now their business model is a whole different thing. You bring your own stuff, but still, when you bring your own stuff, I played what do you call it? Alan Wake 2 on this for like 6 hours straight.
GeForce Now, right?
Because the battery was just GeForce Now. Battery is awesome. You play Cyberpunk. Ray tracing is insane on this screen, but obviously this thing is a potato in comparison. It would never be able to do it, but you don't care because you're in a location where it does it perfectly. You know what I mean? So I don't think that the tech is too far away. It's just that these big interests, these big companies have to put the puzzle pieces together. And because of business, it's difficult to do that right now. What do? You throw all of your data centers that have Xboxes in the cloud away in favor of next gen just because? No, you got to wait until that hardware becomes obsolete, right? You got to use it for what you have now. And then next time in 2-3 years, when the generation cycles to the new gen, then you can make some changes, right? Doesn't mean that it's not possible today. Some others are doing it. They're just doing it in their own way.
Agree with everything you just said, and you convinced me. It's probably coming sooner. But I will tell you, they gotta get to a point where I don't see that little rocket ship anymore while it's floating. Like GeForce.
Pro tip on that rocket ship. Pro tip on that rocket ship. The better xCloud, the better xCloud app that we were just talking about. You can get rid of that rocket ship, or you can have the rocket ship be there and then have cool background of whatever game you're playing. So when I'm playing Control, it's not just the rocket ship; it's the chick from Control standing there, all cool and stuff, while the rocket ship passes by.
I want that, but if you remember Stadia, and this is the thing, Stadia used to launch like this instantly. It used to give you the little picture, and then we're in there. We need.
But remember, they were also using. While they're all using Linux, they're also using server class scaled systems, virtual systems, like proper enterprise level, bang, bang, bang for your buck. You can't afford this machine kind of stuff they were doing, right? That's why their demos were showing you like what were they saying? Oh, console gamers are talking about 10, 12, 13 T-flops. We have 350 T-flops, things like that.
Back there and eating the
what I mean? Yes. Yeah, because they can iterate quickly. They can spin up virtual instances quickly to the point where there's no uplift that they can't do because it's server class, right? And Microsoft can't do that because they're basically dealing with Xboxes in the cloud.
I got you.
It is what it is,
I got you. All right, Kay.
But shout out to the almost 600 people. I gotta say it like that. 600 people that are watching, most of which are watching from X. Man, there's like 509 people right now on twitter.com watching us. Appreciate y'all for watching. This is amazing. Appreciate you guys. This is so cool. So cool. So yeah, man, I think we'll leave it there. I liked this idea of gaming, of cloud gaming on the show. Obviously, it makes it difficult.
No. First of all, I couldn't concentrate on anything I was doing. Those zombies were eating me up, and you had my boy Hector getting thrown all over the place, or I think that was his name, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I think that was his name in the game. And no, we can't do that anymore. No, absolutely not.
So, by the way, speaking of your boy Hector, and I'll say this, and nobody will understand, but maybe you might. So I'm building a new logo for some initiative I'm working on, and I have like cartoon characters of all of us doing different things. Like I have a Black Panther suit on, somebody else has something else on. John Wolf is a luchador. I'm just saying.
Oh, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, just make sure you get the muscular structure down, okay?
Uh-huh.
At least
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
at least in the
Muscular on
cartoon.
top, pop belly in the
There you
bottom.
go. There you go. All right. As long as we got that, we're good to go. That's
But no,
amazing.
I think, yeah, man, we'll talk about that later. I think it's about time we round out the episode. We are at the end of our episode, but gentlemen and ladies, we appreciate y'all so much for being here. This show is just something that we do to just we talk with the community. We have a chance to just kind of catch up on a Monday. Monday's usually the worst day when you work, when you go into offices and stuff. So this tends to be the great, the great saving grace of my Mondays, where I can come and hang out with you, talk to the community, just talk some games, hang out and have some fun. Before we go, let me ask you, Mr. Wolf, what games have you been playing?
I've been doing so much
old or new.
Old.
Yeah. Hit me.
Emulation. I've been playing NBA Street Volume 2 nonstop.
Oh, that is the game of games, sir. The game of games.
Nonstop.
When you're done, play FIFA Street as well. Also very good.
I never tried FIFA Street, but I was playing NFL
Very good.
Street the other day.
Yeah.
NFL, you remember that one?
Oh yeah, of course I do. Yeah,
that whole Street franchise, the EA needs to bring that back.
Oh
remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It used to EA big. Remember that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Oh,
same big company that used to make the SSX games, which I also loved. Yes, absolutely. That's a great game, man. That's a great game.
So I've been playing a lot of emulation stuff. I was talking to Dark the other day. This Odin Pro 2, I really like Android for emulation. I really do. I think it's
the
very
unfortunate
solid.
thing about Android and emulation is, as good as it is from a hardware perspective, they are killing the software.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they're killing the software. So it's like it's all right there, but you can't use it because they're killing the software.
Well, I keep up with a few channels that talk about it, and the last video I saw for any emulation heads out there that are on Android, Semu is coming. Okay, they've already been able to run a few games. Optimization has begun on it, so within the next year, look for Semu to gain traction, and
it's gonna rise. Okay,
yeah, and check this one out. This is the big one. Ryujinx, they're already putting Adreno code into Ryujinx to make the transition. The problem, the rumor, and the speculation, the fun speculation. Shout out to Nav again.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Is that the developers, right? The people that are working on Ryujinx, it's speculated that they're out of Brazil. Okay. And Nintendo is having a really tough time doing anything to them because of the jurisdiction. And guess what? They've been smart the whole time since the beginning. They haven't fumbled yet. Please, I hope that it keeps
fumbling.
That way, right? Fumbling.
Stop. Don't go out the mouth and be all cool with it. Don't start charging people for features. We see you there, Yuzu.
Exactly.
Flew too close to the sun.
Exactly. Don't be a Yuzu. But the thing is that Ryujinx, the reason that they've held back and that they haven't released Android is because they don't want eyes on them. They just want to go under the sun, which I think is the smart thing to do until all of this stuff boils over. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. And the other game I've been playing, has been X-Men Legends. Remember X-Men Legends?
You doing it old school this week, man. That's great, man. That's some good stuff. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love
my old stuff, man.
I have nothing but fond memories of X-Men Legends. I used to play with my friends all the time with that game. That's
such a
awesome,
great game. Man. And I look forward to beating it and completing it, and then moving on to X-Men Legends 2, where you have to go against Apocalypse. Remember that? And then you can get Magneto in the fold and all that. So that's good, man. And then as you know, since I'll just do my outro now, okay?
Yeah, please.
We got a special episode next week coming. As you guys know, I'm excited about the ROG Ally X. It launches next Monday to coincide our show. Here's the thing. I called off work. I'm not gonna work, right? Because I want to go. I want.
He called his boss and he said he had vision problems. I can't see myself being at work on Monday.
No. I already booked it in when I saw the launch date because I'm like a little kid when it comes to these things. Okay, I absolutely love it. So I already got myself a 4 terabyte hard drive. I'm gonna open it up, change the hard drive so that I can be spec'd out. Here's the problem. The item is shipping to me on Monday, and I'm gonna try my best to change it I'm gonna be at the store at 11 a.m. to see if they're selling it at the store. If they are, I'm just gonna pick it up as early as I can, and then just return the one that comes through mail, because I don't want to wait.
Sure.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Of course,
You guys know how it is. So
Yep.
the thing is that once I do, if I'm able to get it early, I hope I can, so that by the time the show rolls around 7, I can have it all set up and we can do an overhead camera view of the things that I've installed, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I hope that they are ready to go with their BIOS update day 1 or before, because we're a week out, and the only thing is that the embargo on this thing is on Monday. So the same day it releases is the embargo that the great reviewers like the Fox and and Retro Game Corps and all that, they can finally talk about the performance. So that day, either I'm gonna be really happy or I'm gonna be roasted the whole day. But either way, it's gonna be a great day. and Jay, I'll swing it over back to you. But guys, follow me on everywhere, John Wolf. Just find me. If you look, you can find me. So, Kay, I want to turn it over to you and say, first of all, plug the website one more time, because there's a lot of articles going on there. And then as well, let the good people know where you're going to be for the rest of the week, man.
So I've been doing some, and it's as if I have enough time in the day. I've been doing some editing work for the gamingcircle.com. And I haven't had a chance to right now. And you know what? This is a call to the community we have here. We still have about 570 people in here. I have been plugging away at it. I'm a one-man band. They always say you're a jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not a web developer, but I can make it happen when I need to make it happen. So I've been building the site myself. I've been using WordPress and doing all that stuff. But I want to take it to the next level. I want to get a custom CMS going. I want to really, really like put effort into making that thing shine. So if anybody in our community has any tips, any pointers, any web developers out there who can help me take this thing to the next level, my DMs are open. I'm open for it. I'm getting more and more articles. I'm doing a lot of SEO work and all of this stuff. So we're trying to swim in those waters as well. And of course, as we grow, so too shall you. We are right now a small fledgling organization, but maybe one day we get to a level where an organization that can provide stipends and all of this. We
will hear from us on a daily basis, man. That would be so cool. Imagine,
it'd be cool, man.
The bar hour. What's your drink of choice?
The Wolf Hour.
The Wolf Hour. There you go.
So no, you'll see more in that realm as well. As for me, I'll be, of course, Wednesdays. Shout out to Boom. I'll be there. Boomstick, always great work there. Oh, the nicest guy in gaming, man. I love that guy. He's put me on way early, so I'll never ever not be on his shows. I always want to be there and have conversations with him. Believe it or not, I'm still playing Elden Ring, and I've kind of started dipping my toes into the First Descendant. And while I don't necessarily think that First Descendant is the greatest game in the world, something's keeping me there. So I'm just still there. We'll see.
That eye candy is something else, but go ahead. I'm not gonna interrupt you. Go ahead. I mean, I see you giggling there
slimy mother. You know what I'm gonna call?
You can't run.
You know what I'm gonna call you from now?
What?
From now on, I'm gonna call you Master Roshi, but that's neither here nor there.
That's fine. I will gladly accept it, because I'm telling the truth. You cannot go 5 minutes again without stopping and looking.
Sure, Master Roshi. Indeed.
I'm telling you,
yes,
young Roku or Goku. I mean Roku.
Roku. Yes. And on Saturday, of course, myself, Everborn Saga, maybe a guest. We'll see what goes on. We'll be back at it again, doing GCP. It should be fun times as we tend to do. So thank you guys so much for checking out the show. If you have a chance to check out my thoughts on the Fire Stick. It was my first time doing a review type video. I want to do more of those kind of videos. I want to put more of them out there, just kind of hanging out and just give my thoughts on it. Maybe roll some B-roll, try to make it clean, concise. I'm working my video editing chops. I haven't video edited in a while, so it'll take me a while to get good again with that stuff. But I'm trying it out, seeing how I feel about it. Maybe when the ROG Ally X comes out, I'll bully this man into doing a review of his own. When the 1X Player Mini, when the real handheld shows up, when the 1X Player Mini shows up,
here we go.
Then I'll be ready to do a review on that one as well.
How about this? the Rochi hour. How about that?
The Rochi. Wait, where all he'll do is just like critique like the way women walk or something.
Exactly.
I don't know.
We'll be reviewing cosplayers all day. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. On that note, before we get canceled, the thoughts of John Wolf do not represent GCP as a whole, the Gamers Playground as a whole.
Damn right.
I think we're done here. Thank you guys so much for being here. The chat was so lively today. Lots of great conversations. Been keeping up with all your ongoings. I see some new faces and some new names. Appreciate y'all. If you're on YouTube, try to hit the like button before on your way out. If you want to support us even more, you can consider being a member. We appreciate all our members. On the bottom of this page when it posts, there's the link for Discord. Consider joining us on Discord. We have lots of great conversations in Discord. We're actually about due for another Discord podcast. We have a lot of those uncut podcasts on the Discord. So come join us.
That's the thing, but I got you.
I was convinced that the price raises was going to bring some tears out. No one cried this time, which was good. I appreciate
all you guys are paying for my Call of Duty. Go ahead. I'm happy.
Oh yeah, you do that. All right, yeah. Call of Duty. Anyway, with all that slander out there, I'll say have a good night. Hope your Monday was as good as mine, which it was all right to this Monday. Yeah. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.